It's
Flick it on. That's fine. Is your ones on? Do you mind flicking it on?
Yeah, they on.
There you go. And do you want the mic testing?
hello, testing, testing, testing.
That's right, no worries. Here's your other ones. Right, okay. I'll do the same spiel again. Hello. You don't mean this before.
Hi, I'm Jacob, by the way.
No.
What's your name? Sorry.
Okay, so what you need to know is...
What's your name? Sorry.
Hattie.
Hattie. Jacob. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And anyone. Because I'm from...
And are you the twos or the pairs?
Twos, that's Express.
Express. Cool. Nice.
So basically, those swears you have to be impartial as well. So unfortunately, you can't cheer blanks on the stream.
That's okay.
But we have to be completely impartial. Don't be discriminatory or any isms or phobias type thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty common sense. But,
Yeah. I teach, so it should be good to go on the no swearing thing.
Oh no, you should.
I can turn it on and off for you now.
What's it? Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course I will.
Might have to come a bit close to the aux to make sure to that one. But any questions or anything?
Did someone say commentate?
Do we have to captain that? Like, do you stop broadcasting?
Of course I will.
Okay.
Good luck, guys. You got this.
Or coach or something.
Light work.
Alright, cool.
So
Yeah, sounds good.
should be no issues. If anyone's got any questions or anything, you can always just come to me because I'm
Oh,
managing the radio side.
Do you have a team sheet for York so we can kind of be a bit...
You got it.
You know.
Team sheets on there, so you might have to share it around to the face on the phone. And then
That's alright.
We'll attempt to get interviews. If not, let's just do kind of like a wrap up of kind of like a summary of the entire game.
Yeah, sounds good.
And I'll try and get some spectators, if not.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
On the teams.
one more thing I forgot. Because we're on radio, we also have to do something called call signing.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what to say. Basically, you just have to call out what station you're on and what frequency you're on. So
Okay.
it'll be, you'll just literally say, thanks for joining us, or like halfway through the match. If you're just joining us, you're listening to University Radio York on 88.3 FM.
88.3.
Yeah, and Bale Rate on 95.3. So I'll put it up on my phone or something.
Yeah,
like
that
Do
would be
you want me to
fantastic.
write it
Thank
down
you.
on the team sheet for you?
Yeah, okay.
Do you have a pen?
Okay.
Pen. There's a pen by my camera.
Oh,
Do you want me to like?
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jacob, by the way.
Hi, I'm Amelia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm the sports editor for York Vision.
Okay, cool. I played rugby for Lancaster last year.
Nice.
I was president, so I know hopefully lots of them.
Do you want it to be like a three-way thing, or do you want me to, in terms of the actual like narrative of the commentary? So I'm happy to lead it, and then like.
It's sort of, it's up to you guys really.
Yeah.
Do you feel confident in doing play-by-play casting, as in, like, this is what's happening now, it's getting passed around,
Yes.
there's someone's tackle, there's a ruck, there's a scrum, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you stop, one of you guys fills in and said, oh, that was great for York, or oh, that was great
Yeah.
for Lancaster, or oh, that was a really poor challenge, I think that should be a red card type of thing, and then add that sort of analysis.
Yeah.
Would you be
Sure.
comfortable doing that? And
I'm
you
happy.
take over sort of-
I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Sort of lead, if you will.
Yeah,
type
that's
thing.
fine.
Is
That's
that
okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
Thank
So
you.
you're always 8.3.
Nice one.
And then Railrig.
How exciting.
I know.
Their captain is number 12, and her name is Holly, and their number 10 is Sophie Bates. So,
Sophie Bates.
but yeah, captain is number 12, Holly for York.
Cheers.
So just every now and then, doesn't have to be too often, but just every now and then just drop in. You're listening to URY on 88.3
Yeah.
and Bellring on 95.3.
Sure.
Also, this is on Wise TV as
It's
well.
on Wise TV as well, so
Yeah.
you can say and on roseslife.com.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's roseslife.co.uk.
That seems like a good, like,
It's
waiting
Yeah.
for a scrum kind of.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I will be on the edge of my seat.
Here we are, there's been a delay in
Are
the
you going to
game.
be okay not cheering, Paddy? You can't cheer.
What?
Yeah, it's been partial.
You
You have
can't
to be
cheer.
impartial.
Should we get someone else?
Trust me, it's just as annoying for me.
Yeah, I know. Why don't you ask Dylan if he wants to do it? Dylan knows rugby.
If you think you can't be impartial, we can do it with
I
you.
might struggle.
We're going,
Okay, how do you
we're
make
going
it
live
to-
with 5 seconds.
5 seconds?
5 minutes, sorry.
5 minutes.
5 minutes until the latest
My-
vote referendums have gone up 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
What time is it?
Shall I get Dylan?
Yeah, maybe. I think you might struggle. Okay. We'll go.
Oh,
If you
sorry.
can't do it. Make sure that he knows he can't cheer.
Can we turn that mic off, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cool.
Sorry, I know her fairly well, and I had a feeling she might find it quite difficult. Do you mind if I have a look at that?
Yeah,
So I
sure.
can see the names.
Hopefully it's fairly clear.
Yeah, it's fine.
Women's rugby.
Ruby, Evie. Is that Fionn? Number 3?
Sorry?
Fionn.
Fionn.
Yep. Eleanor?
Yeah, Eleanor, I think.
Sophie. Gemma?
Jessica.
Jessica.
Tamlin. Bailey. Tanya. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm afraid I don't organise the actual thing. I just tell people not to swear on radio.
Talia, Casey, Shannon. Alright, cool. Turn your mic off, but it's back on now.
Okay. I'm ready.
Alright. Are we introducing the players from each side?
Yeah, you got the time.
Well, when we go live, we're bringing you the women's first team fixture of rugby.
Cool.
Here from One.
Okay.
Just to run you through the start and lineups this afternoon.
Do you have a good radio voice?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
There they are! They're about to come out! Alright. Do you want to do the whole intro? You're listening
Yes.
here and here since you're probably more well versed in it than we are.
Yeah.
And then, if you want to read, you can read one.
Going live now.
Yes. Alright.
Hello and welcome to today's women's rugby first fixture from Roses as the crowd welcome Lancaster women onto the field. This is URY on 88.3 FM and Bell Rig at 95.3 FM, also streaming live on www.roseslive.co.uk. Good afternoon, I'm Jacob Basford. Joining with me is the ex-president of Lancaster Women and the Twos captain. Please introduce yourselves.
My name is Amelia Scott. Like you said, I played for Lancaster last year and I was club president for 2 years.
I'm Hattie. I played in the twos yesterday, and we won.
Awesome, welcome guys. And the York women enter onto the pitch to a field of white smoke from the flares and cheers from the away supporters. Teams will go with the away side first. We've got number 1 at loosehead prop Ruby Finch, hooker number 2 Evie Potter, 3 Fionn Wicks, 4 Imogen Hipwell, 5 completing the second row Emily Jackson. The back row, 6 Louise Hamilton, 7 Katie Jackson at open side, and number 8 is Charlie Norris. Scrum half number 9 is Eleanor Pamoral, and number 10, the fly half and the vice captain, is Sophie Bates. In the centres, we've got Holly O'Sullivan, the captain for York today, and her outside partner is Charlie Woolley. On the wings, we've got Jessica Abraham and Tan Hales on the right wing at number 14, with Bailey McIntosh at fullback. For Lancaster, in the front row, we've got Bella O'Geary, 2 Keris Wilson, 3 Talia Treble. The second row consisting of Cassia Cutler, 5 Shannon Brennan. In the back row, we've got Emily Mando, 7 Branwyn Vaughan, the co-captain, and number 8 Amelie Neal Gourlay. The half-back combination is Catherine Jolly, number 10 Rosie Williamson, and then the centre is Olivia Goland, 13 Chora Ravetto, and then the wings Rosie Pearman, 14 Amelia McCormack, and 15 Fudia Adelaisoon. Hi guys, what are you? I've just run through the teams there. Amazing atmosphere today on the pitch. What are your expectations ahead of this fixture?
I think it's going to be a fantastic match. I know both teams have worked incredibly hard to leading up to this moment. It's a really, really big deal to play for your first team at Roses. It's a beautiful day here as well. So much support out for the girls, and I think they're just going to have a fantastic time. Hattie?
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite a tight match. They've all worked so hard to be here, and it's such an achievement running out onto this pitch. So I think we're all just in for a really good day.
And I'm sure, as you can hear on the airwaves, the crowd is in full noise, both the away team and the home supporters.
Yeah, we've got Catherine Jolly kicking off for Lancaster and York is receiving. That is picked up by Lancaster.
To the cheers of the home supporters. Scrum half the back of the ruck. Big forward in for the carry.
Big hit from York there. Really, really well done. They're looking sharp already.
2 women on the ball there. And the ref has called knock-on advantage.
Yeah, still playing advantage to Lancaster. Lancaster running it in with their forwards.
Jolly into another of the front rowers. Another huge carry from their front row already.
Yes, you can tell this is already going to be a pretty tight match. Both teams are coming sharp out of the gate.
Wide ball out to the centres. The centre, inside centre, Olivia Golan takes it in. Another ruck. Keeping it to the left-hand side. Into the forwards again.
Big hit from York there. I believe that was their number 9. Big hit from the scrum half.
Another big hit from the scrum half on the number 9. York go over to contest the breakdown. Still ball there for Lancaster.
Still Lancaster ball. Looks like there's a player down,
That was a
unfortunately.
big hit from
Ooh.
York.
So yes, the ref has blown the whistle. One of the York team is on the floor. She looks like she's clutching her leg.
Hope everything's all right there. This is a good moment, I think, for both teams. You know, a few seconds in for them to just have a chat. They've now gotten over the initial nerves of the game starting and everything. They're able to kind of get into their rhythm, but they can check in with each other, see how they're feeling as well.
Agreed. And how do you feel like Lancaster were going in the forwards there? Do you think they got much success, or was it just early door nerves?
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely going to be part of their game plan. They've got some brilliant forwards out on that pitch, so utilising them to push through that gain line will be definitely a tactical move, and then using the backs where they can. So I think it's definitely gone to plan so far.
Okay, well, both teams are in a huddle. The ref is just checking on the injured York player. We're unfortunately unable to get the name and number of that York player. It looks to be quite serious. Wishing her all the best.
Yeah. What would you be saying right now if you were that York side? What would you be telling your players?
I just tell them to keep composure. I mean, you know, they're a little bit loose on that receiving kickoff there and gave Lancaster the ball, but they were really good in D. So, you know, I think all the captain will be saying is just keep calm heads. And the cheers are for the
Can't see the number quite yet. There's
Can't see
some
the
arms
number.
supporting her off. It's obstructing us.
I believe that's in the back row.
And a substitution
And
made.
a substitution has come on.
We'll let you know who's come on just when we can see her number.
For the listeners on the airwaves, we're stationed at the back of the pitch, so we're relying on seeing the back of the player shirts, unfortunately.
It's number
okay.
Number 16.
Number 16, which is Arwen Williams. So Arwen Williams is on for York in the front row.
Like we said, best wishes to that York player who's gone down. Hopefully it's nothing too serious.
Yeah, she's receiving medical
So
attention.
we have the scrum. Lancaster in possession because the ref blew the whistle when the York player was injured, and Lancaster in possession of the ball. So here we have a scrum. Big contact in the middle there.
Big push
Pressure
from
on the
both
shove.
teams.
Great to see from both sides for the first
Oh, and
scrum
it's
of the match.
It's gone down the blind side. Knock on there
That's
for the
all
number
right.
10.
We'll
It
have
was a
another
pick
scrum.
and go from Lancaster 9, Catherine Jolly, from the back of that
So
scrum.
Lancaster there were looking to exploit the blind side, but a knock on there from Rosie Williamson, the number 10 for Lancaster, give York possession at the scrum. Lancaster looked to put quite a bit of pressure on that first scrum there. So with York ball, let's see if they can put any more pressure on.
Both teams are putting in so much effort in these scrums. They're pushing.
It'll be interesting to see York now with their attack. I think this is the first time we are going to be seeing their attacking structure this match so far.
Yes,
as well.
first time York in possession of the ball. Out from the scrum half, into the number 10.
Sophie Bates.
Sophie Bates.
And Lancaster
It's
now has
Lancaster
possession.
intercept.
Well done.
By Olivia
work.
Goland, number 12.
And the ref is going back for a knock on. So
And that's
we've-
Lancaster's cheers. It's Lancaster's turnover.
Exactly. So we've had it's been a cagey opening half, quite a few scrums. Sloppy there, you'd say, from York inside their own half.
Yeah, I think with these kinds of things, you just got to shake the nerves off in the first few minutes. It's hard to get into that rhythm especially if you're an away team. There's a big crowd out for both sides, but
Yeah, I think both teams, they can't really afford to be throwing loose passes because the other team, the skill, they will just be intercepted. So I think York need to be a bit tighter on that.
So the ref calls a reset for the scrum. Still Lancaster ball in the centre of the pitch, just inside the York half. And the front rows get ready to crouch. Ref calls crouch.
looks like the attacking structure is evenly set on both sides as well. Number 10 right behind the scrum.
They go to the left again, out the back.
It's beautiful.
That's looking good.
Oh, loose pass and into
Kept it
touch.
on.
Unfortunate.
Taken
Unfortunate
into
from
touch by the
Lancaster.
fullback, Eudora. They had a good vision there. It
Yeah, that was
just a
unfortunate. That
loose,
was-
loose pass.
They exploited the space well, but as you say, a loose pass into touch there, and Fadua was unable for Lancaster to recover that ball. So first line out of the game with York in possession. Yeah. Oh,
Right.
turnover
They've
to
gone straight
Lancaster.
to Lancaster's number 9.
Ball's loose. Knocked on, I think, there by
Yeah.
Lancaster. So it'll be a York scrum now. Interesting line out there, I think. You had Lancaster going up at the front and York seemed to go up in the middle pods, and I'm wondering if that's going to be kind of a theme we see throughout, or if you think that they're going to switch, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. It looks like a bit of a. It was good drill, but it looked like a bit of an underthrow there from the York hooker, unfortunately, which meant that possession was turned over. But it's a York scrum, just on the halfway line, I believe, and the ball is in from number 9, Eleanor Pamaril. Lancaster put on the pressure, but it's clean ball there for Lancaster. Oh, loose ball there to number 12.
Well
That is
picked
their
up by number
captain,
12.
Holly O'Sullivan.
She's gone on the outside.
She's gone on a run.
Still
She's
going
still
with a
going.
bend. Go on the outside.
She's still going, and she's
And
taken
she's been
down
taken.
by Lancaster winger, I believe.
That was a
I'm
great
not
cover
quite sure
defence
who
from
that
Lancaster
was.
there. But in the forwards, into the half, out the back.
Still York possession.
Into the forwards as well.
Nice
inside
inside
ball.
ball.
To the that was an inside ball to the loose head prop Finch.
That was a big tackle by Lancaster there.
Out to the fly half. Lancaster over the ball. And it's a turnover to Lancaster. That was really good defence there.
Great jackal there from, I believe that was Talia Treble on Lancaster, and they are going to put in a kick.
Box kick
And-
there.
Oh,
Still loose.
Can't be
Still
picked up.
loose and
Well-
received by number 15.
Bailey McIntosh.
brilliant tackle
Under
there
lots
from
of
number
pressure.
12.
Lots of pressure there from
Olivia
Lancaster.
Goland in with that attacking tackle.
Looks like to be a forward carry here, and then they'll set for another box kick. Attempted round the outside from the second row, Jackson. Into the forwards again, the replacement, Arwen Williams. Big tackle in from Lancaster. Still in your possession, out to the fly half for a kick.
That was a
Big
big
kick from
kick
Sophie
from-
Bates there. Beautiful kick. It's still going.
Still in field. Oh, what's the ref saying?
And we are coming back for
Looks like a penalty.
a York. Not quite sure. I believe that could be offside.
I think that was offside from the kick. Or, oh wait, no, it's a penalty to York. So, some kind of infringement there from Lancaster on that last ruck. So an opportunity here for the fly half, Sophie Bates, to put this into touch in the half for a line out. And she lines it up and kicks it into
Big
touch.
kick to touch.
Just around the 22.
It's going to be York's line out now.
So York have already had one line out, but one line out spilled. Let's see how their drills go here. You mentioned earlier that Lancaster will get a pod in the front, put some pressure. Let's see where this ball goes. Evie Potter ready for the throw in. And Lancaster go at the tail, and it's clean off the top to the number 9.
Lovely from York there. That was a really good line out.
Into the number 8 with a big carry. Quick ball there for York. Can the scrum half get there?
Taken down by Bramwyn Vaughan. That was
penalty.
a brilliant tackle from Bramwyn there.
Not releasing, I believe.
Yeah, crucial turnover there from Lancaster. And
And it's
Lancaster's
going to be a
kick for
it's going to be a
touch.
Catherine Jolly kick for touch.
so Catherine Jolly, the scrum half, with
Brilliant.
place kicking duties. I do apologise. And we're back to the halfway line. So neither team have been really able to make much play in either halves. We've been sort of going between the two 22s.
Yeah.
But Lancaster have an opportunity here to launch an attack off this set piece.
Seeming fairly even for now.
Yes, it is. So the hooker, Keris Wilson, throws in. Clean ball there for
Brilliant.
Lancaster. Out the top into a forwards.
Huge carry there from Talia
Big
Treble.
run.
Still on her feet, still going. The crowd roaring at that big carry.
That was
Into
a
the
brilliant
forwards again.
carry.
Another big run from Keris Wilson there on Lancaster.
York over the ball. Penalty to York. Turnover at the breakdown.
I think, was that holding on? Or
It was holding on, yes. And York go quickly.
Quick
Quick
from
ball
York.
from York.
Sophie Bates got the ball.
Can't
And
quite
she's-
get that offload, and it's
Still
taken.
going. She's still going.
The ruck there is slow. Lancaster take a while to get out.
Good
Lovely
hands.
pickup. Here
Very
we go.
nice.
Queen's made a break for it.
Still going.
Still going. They've got
Still
two on the
going.
outside
Oh,
as
she
well.
That was
She
a
couldn't find the
brilliant
outside
cover tackle
option.
there.
Great cover
Brilliant
defence
cover
from
tackle.
Lancaster.
I think
Step
it was.
inside.
I think that was Casey. With that
Step
cover
inside
tackle.
from number 7, Katie Jackson. Tip on there to the number 3, Fionn Wicks.
Lancaster really upping their defence now. They're doing everything they can.
I believe Lancaster have turned that over. Yes, indeed.
That's
And
brilliant from Lancaster.
so both sides have been pretty loose at the breakdown. It has to be said. A lot of
Yes.
turnovers coming from that area. And Lancaster looked like to be going to be playing.
That was a lovely little run there from Bramwin.
That was the co-captain Vaughan with a run there. Pass
Lancaster
back.
for the kick.
Oh,
When it was
charge
charged
down. Everyone
down.
onside. Number
Received.
14 picks up. Tries to go around the outside. Is harassed by 2 Lancastrian defenders. Ball there for York.
Was that a Rosie Pearman tackle there?
Another big carry from the number 5, Emily Jackson. Out to the number 10, Bates again. Stood still. Still on her
She's
feet.
still going.
Couldn't get the offload away. Now she does.
Bit of a messy offload there, but still in York possession.
So what, tackling here has been very, very good from Lancaster, but York are doing really well to keep the ball alive. And it's another turnover from Lancaster.
I do have to agree with you. I think the rocks have been quite messy from both sides. I think it'll definitely be something
That was a big
to
hit
note
on
at
Bramwin there.
halftime.
Huge hit there from the number 10 for York, Sophie Bates on one of the forwards. Another box kick. The 15, Bailey McIntosh to cover. Goes down the left-hand side. Finds
Number
way
11's got space.
Jessica
Taken
Abraham.
down by Emily
Still in,
Mander.
still in.
York resists that ruck. Number 12, the captain, Holly O'Sullivan, takes it in. Here come the forwards. Keeping it in the forwards. The scrum half barking orders. The ref is letting these rucks being a right old mess, which is probably why we're seeing quite a lot of turnovers. But it's still in York hands. And that is another penalty there
I
to
believe
Lancaster.
that was holding on from the York side.
Indeed so. So, to be fair, York are doing pretty well to get on the outside, but the scramble defence from Lancaster has been really, really good. Do you think that's something they could have spotted in pre-match analysis?
I'm not sure. That's a tough question, I think. 'Cause I think when you kind of in those moments of desperation right up against your own try line, you kind of pull that out of the bag to make those cover tackles. But I thought it's been interesting that we've only really seen York encroach the Lancaster 22, and we haven't seen Lancaster come up this side very much yet. But
No.
hopefully we will as well.
So
I think
number
Go on, sorry.
I think as well Lancaster are doing a brilliant job at reading the game and
yes.
matching their defence to that. They're wrapping around when needed. They're covering those tackles. If a wing's dragged in, you've got the forwards covering. I think they're doing a great job of that.
So the crowd are getting into this now as you set up for the line out. Keris Wilson to throw in.
First Lancaster throw in, which is
It's messy, but I believe it's still in Lancaster's hands. It is. York go over the breakdown, but Lancaster able to clear out the ruck. Still in with the forwards.
it's a run from number 19, which is Laws Massey.
So we've still in the pack. The scrum half there. Is she going to the forwards? No, she goes back to the fly half to clear. Another clearing
Beautiful
kick.
kick
Oh,
there.
difficult bounce. And the ref has come back for
Scored
an
it back.
advantage. We're unsure of what. Offside.
Yeah.
So that was offside there from York, which gives Lancaster the opportunity to clear this ball into the half where Lancaster have not been for a while. So as you heard on the radio, the York supporters there were trying to give it a lot of chat to Keris Wilson on the sidelines, but she kept reasonably composed.
She did. That's a tough position to be in when you're on that that sideline and you've got the York behind you. But like you said, she's well composed, and I believe it's going to be another chance for Keris Wilson to throw in now.
Yes, exactly. Although the kick was a bit shallow, so they're still in their own half. But take two for Keris Wilson as both teams look to set up at the front. Competition, but Lancaster. Oh, and the ref says not a straight throw. So that'll be a scrum to York. Really good pressure there. And here comes the noise from the York supporters.
I think this is a great place. This is where York want to be right now. They've got a scrum. They've got, try line in sight. And what do you think is going to come next for them from their attack?
Well, we'll see how they're numbering up. We've both got the captain, Holly O'Sullivan, on the blind side with number 11, Jessica Abraham. But we've also got. We'll see what happens. The players could switch over when the ball comes out of the back of the scrum. Into the scrum it goes from the number 9. Does indeed go to the blind side. Great take from Holly O'Sullivan. Onto the leg drive. Still going. The captain for York. Back to the open side to the forwards. Out the back for a tip on number 3, Fionn Wicks. She's been carrying the ball quite a lot.
Bit slow from this ruck, but out to Sophie Bates.
Crossfield kick attempt. In. Is it there? The ball's still bubbling about. And that's a touchdown to try.
Try for York. Not totally sure who scored that, but well done. That was a messy but effective crossfield kick, I think, from Sophie Bates.
Yeah, exactly right. It was messy but effective. York couldn't deal with it. And oh, hang on, is that a try or is that a penalty?
Oh, I don't think that was a try, actually.
No, it was not a try.
I thought his arm went up, but
I think his arm went up.
Not like that was a try.
No, his arm went up for the penalty, and I think the supporters were a bit premature with their celebration. So
apologies for that mistake. We are quite far away from the
Do we know
try
why
line
that
down
was a
there.
penalty?
Could have been a shove off the ball, something like that, or yeah, it was probably something like that.
Or to see from back here.
Throw in for Keris Wilson now. Up to the back pod. In Lancaster possession.
Not quite clean, but into the back row. Another big carry.
Huge take down there by York.
York again over the ball. Oh, out the back.
Messy
Is it turnover?
offload.
Into York hands. Number
Picked up by
13,
York.
Charlie Woolley. So we've got back to the open side into Bates. Out to her number 8. Keeps it alive for the number 5, Emily Jackson.
Still going. Oh.
They go to the wide.
Out to the right.
McIntosh
To Tan Hales.
finds Tan Hales, who is
pushed into touch.
bundled into touch. And that's been happening quite a lot this game. York are looking to expose Lancaster on the fringes, but Lancaster defending really well, using that touchline as the extra defender.
Yeah, Lancaster's defence just appeared to be everywhere.
Yeah, I think they've done a really, really good job so far, kind of keeping that composure as well. It's easy to get worked up when you're backed up against your own try line, but they have been able to, like you said, use that touch line as an extra defender.
Pressure again on the Lancastrian throw, but it came down and another big carry from their forwards. Is that a turnover? The ref says, yeah, still knock on there at the breakdown. And prime opportunity here, really good position for York to do another strike move. Will they keep it in the forwards a bit more? I don't know, but there's a lot of pressure coming in on the scrum from the Lancastrian pack. So we'll see what happens. I believe that's just a substitution that's happened there. Number 17 for York, Megan Maycock, has come on for, I believe, number 3, Fionn Wicks.
I think if I was York, I'd really want to get some points on the board now. You've been spending a lot of time in the Lancaster 22, and you really just want to get that going, score some points, and keep that momentum up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Pressure on from Lancaster in the scrum. Whose ball is it? The ref calls for a reset. Too much wheeling there.
Looks like pretty evenly matched scrum as well. We haven't had loads of push from one side or the other so far. We've had quite a few scrums, so it's good to see that both teams are, confident in their forward packs as well.
Yeah, it's good to see that level of completion. You see at the pro game, a lot of scrums go down to the floor, a lot of skullduggery. You don't really see that at uni level, which is what I quite like about rugby at uni and collegiate level. But it's a reset scrum, pressure comes on, but it's out for the scrum half. Into Laura Bates, it's loose, but into the captain, Holly O'Sullivan.
High tackle, I believe, from Lancaster, so
yes,
York look to go quick, I think.
Or are they going to go for the 3? They're not too far from the posts in front. Oh, they've tapped and go onto the right-hand side.
That's number 8 with a great run.
That was Charlie Norris.
Taken down by Lancaster.
Who apparently, according to our spreadsheet, Charlie Norris is dating the current Bake Off champion, who, if you know your rugby, is a Tigers fan.
Oh, it looks that's to 15 for York, and she is not quite over the try line, unfortunately, but just about.
That was a brilliant cover tackle there from both Eudora and Olivia Goland.
She looked like she was in there. Another fantastic cover defence from Lancaster, but York got on their line pressing. Back into the forwards for the tight carries.
Tight defence from Lancaster now. They're really going to try and stop those forwards from scoring a low try through any gaps.
I have to really emphasise how difficult it is in this position to not give a penalty if you were the defending side. Into Bates.
Absolutely.
Onto...
and that now is a try for York. That is a try for York. Big cheers from the supporting sidelines.
First blood to University of York, and if you are listening, we are live on www.roseslive.uk. We are also on 88.3 FM on URY and 95.3 FM on Bale Rig FM. And yes, if you're just listening, York have just scored the first try. 5 points to York.
Yeah.
We don't quite know who scored that. I believe it was one of the forwards, but we have number 10, Sophie Bates, the vice captain, lining up for quite a tough conversion on the left-hand side.
It's not a nice angle, is it?
No, not really.
No.
While she's taking the conversion, I'd like to hear more about the current Bake Off champion fact that you were sharing.
Well, yeah, the current Bake Off champion, I can't remember the name off my top of the head, but he is a well-known Tigers supporter, Leicester Tigers, the rugby team down in the East Midlands. And yeah, apparently, according to the information that I was sent, apparently Charlie Norris is dating
Very
him.
interesting. I wonder if he's here on the sidelines today.
I don't know. Or it could just be one of those silly facts they send in that isn't actually true. So don't take my word as gospel on that.
Sophie Bates is now lining up for her conversion. Like we said, it is a tough angle. She's just on the 10-meter line.
And she takes it, and it's a bit to the left.
That was a brilliant effort, though.
Yeah, very, very good effort.
Great effort.
That was a big boot, that.
How are you going to be, if you were Lancaster, how would you be riling up that team again? You know, like you said, first try to York on your home turf. What would you be saying if you were Bron winner Olivia?
I just think, just to say, keep composure. You know, like York, they had to make York fight for those 5 points.
They did, that's true.
They've been under so much pressure. And they just need to be a bit more clinical on their own ball, and they need to give themselves some opportunities. They had a couple of chances just inside the York half, and they didn't take them. So they really just need to be on the ball more.
Yes, I agree. And I think, like you said, they worked for it. It's been just about 23 minutes. So it's been a while. They're going to be feeling a bit tired as well, I think. This first water break, they've worked really hard. It's also a beautiful day, but also a hot day. So be interesting to see how they get on as the game progresses.
Yes, the weather today is a far cry from the mist and the misery of Saturday morning yesterday. And it's another loose kick on the kickoff, but it's picked up by number 13.
And the
She takes it
tackle
in for
made
the
by
ruck.
Rosie Pearman.
Into the number 8. Not the number 8, sorry, but the number 8 clears out the ruck. Ruck security there, keeping it in the forwards with the number 7. Out the back to number 1. Big rumble there from the number 1, Ruby Finch.
But big tackle from number 17, Emily Hawkins.
York look to play from outside their own half.
Big kick from Sophie Bates to a lot of space. That
lot of free space there. Adua runs back to cover. Great covering from the fullback for Lancaster.
She's
and
still going.
She's going around the outside. She's still going.
And big hit from number 7, I believe, from York.
Katie Jackson with a crunching hit there on Lancaster's number 15, Fuduwada Alade soon.
It got a lot of ooze from the crowd, that one.
Yes.
Attempted box kick there. Covered all.
Slight knock on, I think, from York there.
Yes, that was
That's what
indeed.
Lancaster will be looking for. They want to start building that pressure now, creeping up into the York 22.
I think as well, it's like I just looked to my left, and the support out here today is absolutely insane. Like, I don't know whether it's visible on the live stream, but there are hundreds of people here today.
So they're setting up for another scrum now.
Yeah, so indeed we're setting up for the scrum. So that this is the opportunity we're talking about. This is the opportunity that Lancaster need in order to pile some pressure on themselves. So they're lining up with, well, more or less a split midfield, but also we have a replacement coming on. Number 1, Ruby Finch has been replaced.
By number 2.
Yeah, number 2, Evie Potter has returned to the field. So I believe that could have been a concussion, HIA. Related or blood substitution. So in those instances you can swap players and bring them back on if you pass your head injury assessment.
So Catherine Jolly putting in for Lancaster now. Big
Pressure on from
scrum.
York in the scrum. Ball is there for Lancaster on the blind side again. Pick up from the number 8.
Catherine Jolly going on her own but supported by her wingers.
And that's a great turnover penalty there from York.
Taking it quickly.
Jackson again with another big carry. Pamrel there into the forwards.
3.
That was
York-
a big tackle there from
Big
Bella
tackle.
O'Geary.
York are looking to stretch Lancaster's defence with a lot of tip-on passes. Oh, kept out beautifully for
Excellent
O'Sullivan.
Beautifully
Can she
taken.
find anyone? No, great tackle there from Lancaster. Still York ball.
Again, the Lancaster cover defence has been excellent so far, but
Another tip-on pass
York
there.
stretching.
Out there. Okay.
These big tackles just keep coming.
And it's another penalty there for Lancaster, killing the ball off feet as the score remains 0-5. Penalty right in front of the post, but they've taken it quickly into the fly half. She looks to free of the arms, is unable to do so. On the right-hand side, back to the left in the number 8, Norris. Keeps the ball alive.
Huge hit from Lancaster there.
Big tackle there. Still around the 5-metre mark. Emily Jackson with another big carry. So there's 2 Jacksons on the pitch. Emily at number 5s. And her surname namesake, Katie Jackson at number 7.
Bit slow from York here from this ruck.
So they're looking to keep it in the
Not quite
forwards.
sure where they're going. Going to left.
So number 3 with a big carry. Still there for York. Left-hand side of the touch of the try posts. McIntosh with the footwork. Frees up the ball for
Well
number
caught.
11. She's still on her feet. Has she been held up for a maul? No, it's a tackle. Has she been turned over? No, the ball is still there for York. Cries of Yorkshire from the away support as they pile on pressure to get a second score in this game. Remember, the score is 5-0 to York. Out to Bates, the fly half. Draws in the tackle to her captain, who's over. Holly O'Sullivan, the captain for York at inside centre. Dots down from a great pop from her vice-captain teammate at fly half, Sophie Bates.
Excellent spot to score a try as well. It's hopefully going to be a nice and easy conversion for Sophie Bates now, just outside of the posts.
Yeah, there's lots of boos from the Lancaster crowd. You can tell it's a home in the Roses. The support here is massively swaying towards Lancaster.
So it was really good, patient setup, build-up play there from York, keeping the tempo up with these tap penalties, not interested in threes. They're after one thing here, and that's probably domination.
Yeah, it does seem that way. I have to agree, they seem to really be leaning towards that tap-and-go option at the penalty. Do you think that's something that they've seen Lancaster as a weakness for them and over the season? Or
Well, I think that they're looking to get on the outside. You're looking at all the carries in the forwards. They're looking to get round the outside, going round the edges. And the cheers will tell you that was a conversion for number 10,
Clean
Sophie
through.
Bates.
She had no issues with that one.
score now stands at
12,
12-0.
yeah. 12-0, yeah.
Lancaster going to kick off again.
So we're at about roughly the 29th minute mark. So yeah, sorry what you're just going on to saying there. Yeah, I definitely think that York are looking to get around the edges, and they're trying to do that with pop passes, with tap and goes in the penalty to try and get the ball out quick. Lancaster are dealing with it well thus far, but can they keep it up for the entire game and not have any ball, and they're already 12 points down. We'll see, but really they have to strike next here. But we'll have Catherine Jolly at scrum half with the kickoff. They've gone to the right side again. Is this a clean catch? It is for number 3, Fionn Wicks. York in possession here. Into number 8, Norris. Again, we see that outside step. Takes 2 players to take her down.
Another
Lancaster have turned it
joint tackle
over, though. That was a really great turnover from number 2, Karis Wilson. And is this the opportunity that Lancaster are after? But I think there's been another turnover at the breakdown. Oof.
No, still in Lancaster possession. But a penalty there for not releasing.
Another
so
turnover
it will be
penalty
York's
there.
ball once again.
So as we see, the ref is letting that both teams have a real crack at it at the breakdown. It's making it quite messy. A lot of blows at the whistle. And it would suggest that York probably have been the better teams who have adapted to that thus far. But both teams, it's really sort of nip and tuck at the breakdowns at the moment.
Yes, I think I agree. I think once York kind of get close to that try line, they're able to strike pretty well. But for the most part, we've been seeing this game played largely in the middle of the pitch, the middle section. So I think that's a testament to the effort that both teams have put in through their training over the past 4 weeks.
So Evie Potter to throw in. Great take there from the number 6, but there was a little knock on there on the floor. The pass down to the scrum half wasn't the most forgiving, and that has caused a knock on from York and a scrum here for Lancaster possession.
Yes.
I mean, you're the Lancaster 2's captain. What would you be saying to sort of the team here? Because they've got to, this is an opportunity to get some points, get some territory. What will be going through your minds right now?
Well, the credit for captain does have to go to Polly at number 12. I was just fly half. But yeah, I think at this point, it's mainly keeping morale up. You have to keep their heads in the game. They have to believe. They have to want this. I think the minute that half the battle, it's mental. I think the minute their heads go, they're, it's lost almost. So they need to stay in the game and in their heads. And I think it's just doing whatever that takes, whether that's building them up, whether that's giving them a stern talking to.
So there's a free kick there for York pushing early in the scrum, and they've chosen to take the kick, which they've sent in.
Big hit from Chiara Rivetto there on Lancaster.
But still in possession. Bates for the clearance kick. Oh, on the outside edge of her boot.
Slice that one a little bit.
Yeah. And
not what she'd be looking for there.
I think she panicked a little bit there because they were on the back foot. And,
I agree. She rushed her kick,
just
sliced
caught
the
it
kick.
wrong.
And this is a great opportunity for Lancaster here to put some real pressure on York. We're just inside the York's 22, and if they get this line-out ball, this will be first possession in the 22 for Lancaster. I hope that's not commentator's curse there. As Karis Wilson looks to throw in. Great
Good
take
there.
from
number 5.
The linesman here was just shouting at York. They were all offside. He said that was the second time. So it'd be interesting if he calls it next time.
So the refs are mic'd up, so the linesman and the ref are all mic'd up, so they're all communicating. It's quite a professional standard of officiating here today at the women's first fixture on the final day of Roses. Of course, Lancaster have won Roses. That was confirmed late last night. But this is one of the fixtures, as you can tell by the crowd and the noise. And Lancaster look to pile on the pressure through the forwards. Catherine Jolly out to another one of her forwards. Big wrap-up tackle on number 4, Casey Cutler, by the York defence. Back to the right-hand side they go. Into the hands. Can they get the ball out? No. Good cover tackle there from York.
We talked a lot about Lancaster's cover defence when we were down the other end, but York is clearly doing the same thing when they're put under pressure by Lancaster.
Lancaster are getting over the gain line pretty well, though, through the forwards.
Good effort.
Another good line-out drive.
Big
Good
carry.
clear-out as well. Oh! And
not rolling away from York, so we're going back for a Lancaster penalty.
so there's a huge hit there on the number 9 by number 8, but York were already offside.
This is not an area of the pitch you want to give away penalties. They need to be careful of this for next time.
Yeah.
They're backed up on their try line.
Absolutely, I think discipline is just paramount. So
what are Lancaster going to do here? Are they going to kick to touch, or are they going to tap and go? Or are they going to call a scrum? Let's see what happens.
it does look like they're ready for a scrum, but
I think they're going to go for a line out.
No, they've gone for the scrum.
They've
Oh,
gone
have
for
they?
the scrum.
Yeah.
So Lancaster have looked like they've got the edge in the scrum a little bit, so they're looking to take advantage of that here.
That'll be a tactical move as well, drawing the forwards, get them out of the way, and allow the backs to run that round.
On the scrums thus far, we've seen pick and goes from number 8, Amelie Neal-Gourlay. We'll see if they deploy a similar tactic here.
So Lancaster putting some pressure on, but the score still stands at 12 to York and 0 to Lancaster.
Approaching the 35th minute of the first half. Shove comes in from York. Where's that ball? The scrum is wheeling round.
And it's been taken.
It's been taken by
The 9.
Lancaster.
The 9's been... Catherine Jolly got taken down there.
They keep it into the forwards. Pressure there on... good leg drive there from the forwards.
Lancaster really looking to put some points on the board now. They're just going to keep running it in, draw those forwards in, and then hopefully exploit the backs after a few phases.
Yeah,
Cutler with the carry, and now again with the forwards.
Force of their forwards.
As well.
Big hit from the fullback and the fly half from York there.
And it's now York's possession. They have turned it over.
Jackson fighting there to prevent being tackled over her try line.
York have turned it over. Have they?
And what will the scrum half
York
do
have turned
here?
it over.
Going back for Bates for the clear. Can she get it?
Oh,
Steps.
pressure.
Interesting.
She couldn't get the kick off.
She's still going. Good territory gain there. She could have been caught behind her try line, but she had the composure and the power to get over the line. But
that is exactly what Lancaster will be looking for in that moment. Is a
100%.
penalty to retry and get those points.
I think Sophie Bates did a brilliant job there of choosing not to kick it. I think if she'd have tried to get that kick off with the rate at which Lancaster were flying up, I think that would have been, a crazy move.
if you're listening on URY 88.3 FM and Bell Rig at 95.3 FM or watching on www.roseslive.co.uk, if you are listening on the airwaves, we do have to say the in-goal areas are quite shallow. So Sophie Bates didn't have a lot of room or time to get that clearing kick there, so she definitely took the right option. But her forwards weren't there in support, and the ref gave the turnover to Lancaster.
Yeah, they just need more discipline, York. They're giving away far too many penalties in such a dangerous zone. They need that discipline. They need to stop giving away these silly
Scrum
penalties.
there, just to the just to the right-hand side of the posts. Ball out to the fly half. She's not able to find anyone. It's tackled by tackled by York. Sorry. Pressure on at the breakdown. Ball loose.
Advantage to Lancaster now.
Yes, ref has his arm out for the advantage. What will Lancaster do here? They're keeping it in the forwards.
Big run and big hit. We've seen some
Huge
great
hit
contests in this match so far.
So ref has called the advantage. What do Lancaster do here? They've tried the scrum a couple of times. That's not materialised. What do you think they'll go here?
They went scrum again. I think that's showing that perhaps the tap and go is not a favourite choice of Lancaster, but maybe that's something they will reconsider for the second half.
I think that big hit came from Emily Hawkins from Lancaster, number 17.
And lots of support from our sideline. I don't know if you can hear them, but they are chanting, supporting the girls throughout the whole match as we approach the last couple minutes of this half.
So if we look at the lineup here, both teams are lining up quite shallow to the goal line post. They're not looking to exploit the width of the pitch just yet, but we might see them spread out as the ball comes out of this scrum.
I've just been told by the linesman as well, that's York's 4th penalty on the try line.
So a lot of pressure here.
Brilliant
well
run
done from
by
Chiara Vedder for
Chiara.
Lancaster. They are very, very close to that try line.
That's a 5th penalty in succession here.
Penalty against York.
Oh, and the ref has called a yellow card.
That is unfortunately a yellow card for the captain, Holly O'Sullivan. That is not what you'd want to see.
So if you're listening, that is a yellow card for continued indiscipline in York's own half.
Yeah, I think as well, whatever team you're supporting, when it gets to 5 penalties, it has to be called. There has to be a card given.
So York were under a lot of warnings there from the officials, but they didn't take heed, and now they're down a woman. So they're down 14 women. Can Lancaster exploit this one-player advantage?
You would hope so. You really, really want to get some points before the end of the first half as well.
So Mr. Irving, the referee, has called for the scrum. Still a bit of pressure there from the York pack. But they're out the back.
Out from Lancaster, out the back's a bit messy.
Oh, the ball is messy. Is it in Lancaster's hands?
It's York possession, I believe. But
I think it's been turned over again, but the ref comes back.
Knocked
for
on
just a
there.
little knock on.
Knock
Very
on by
unfortunate.
Lancaster.
Mr. Irving calls for the knock on. So
Scrum down.
York survive. So I mean, if York go in without conceding a try when a woman down, that'd be massive for York. Equally, on the other hand, if Lancaster can get a try on the stroke of half time, that is the ideal time to score for in terms of momentum. So we'll see what plays here. We've got about 40 seconds left of regular time, but we'll see what happens from this scrum here.
And we've now got Rosie Locke on the wing for Lancaster.
So she was replacing. Not actually sure who Rosie Locke has replaced, but she's come on as a sub for Lancaster.
Yeah, so Rosie Locke has come on for number 14 on the right-hand wing. So according to the match clock, it is now time for half-time. So from this play, York should be able just to kick it out, and that will be half-time. So we'll see what happens when the number 9, Pamarel, puts the ball in. Good shove here from York. Still there with the scrum half. Bates.
She dropped it. She dropped
the ball. She dropped the ball.
She knocked it on in the process.
That was great pressure from Lancaster to force that mistake. So they will probably have 1 or 2 more phases in the red before we.
She's not going to be
half
happy
time.
with that, Sophie Bates. She's capable of so much better.
We have actually just been told there's 1 minute left in this first half. So one big opportunity for Lancaster here, as they are just meters away from the try line.
Yeah, so I believe the match clock isn't in time with the officials' clock, unfortunately. But we've just been told that there is 1 minute left this half to play. Lancaster ball on the scrum. Catherine Jolly to put the ball in.
Big scrum and big push. Huge effort from Lancaster.
York are trying to bore in, but they've got the ball out.
Rosie Williamson, who
Out
goes
the back.
inside.
Has that ball gone to hand?
That is half time, I believe.
Yes, there was the ball went loose there. Knock on from either side. Doesn't matter. It is half time here. York University University of York are in the lead. 12 points to 0 against the hosts Lancaster on the final day of the Roses weekend. You are listening to URY on 88.3 FM, Bale Rig on 95.3 FM, and watching live on www.roseslive.co.uk.
I think you'd be a bit disappointed if you're Lancaster there. You had that chance to put some points on the board, but unfortunately couldn't make it before the end of the first half. But I'll be interested to see how it goes in the second half.
Okay, cool. And the camera's facing that way, yeah. Oh. Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, that was massive for York to hold on there, to not concede a try whilst a player down. So they'll be very, very happy with that. Lancaster will be very disappointed, very frustrated, but they've still got about 7-8 minutes of the first half with that one player advantage with York's captain, Holly O'Sullivan, who scored a try in that first half off a yellow card.
So we're now joined by the Lancaster University VP Sport, Jack Watson. Jack, how have you found the rugby, and overall, how have you found the weekend?
Yeah, amazing so far. It's a brilliant game to watch, and sort of like, unfortunately didn't punch it in the end here, but I'm excited to see what the second half brings. But yeah, I think it's just like we've had an amazing weekend so far. The sun's come out to celebrate as the weekend comes to a close, and yeah, I just hope everyone's sort of had fun, and wish best of luck to sort of the remaining fixtures that we have.
Amazing. And what's the kind of work and build-up been like for you as
Yeah.
VP Sport? I imagine it's been quite a lot of effort to put on something like this as well.
It's quite full on. It's sort of a lot of. I mean, I spoke to the teams beforehand and make sure they're all ready, and getting their prep underway properly, and they know what's happening, and they're all sort of ready for it. But the main kind of the backbone of Roses really is the sort of the operational staff team at the Students' Union. Yeah, they've done fantastic work so far, and sort of you can see sort of today the work that they've done.
And a word here for the crowd. I mean, this is we talk about the growth of women's rugby a lot in this country. The fact that we've basically got the majority of campus here watching the girls play, both for York and Lancaster. Just a word on the crowd and the atmosphere here today.
Yeah, fantastic. No, it's really, really good. You know, the sun's out and everyone's here to watch the rugby, and you know, I think it's particularly important for our women's team that they really, really appreciate the sport they have and that they continue to get. As you say, like the sport of rugby is growing. On the women's side, and it's fantastic to see everybody here and everyone supporting, and I know that quite a few members of the team have done quite a lot of work this year. Part of our Women's Sport Forum to kind of like raise that voice of women in sport and get their voices heard, and it's just kind of like a good sort of end to the season for that, I think, for them. Yeah, they really deserve it, and looking forward to, like I say, that second half, see what we can do.
Can you tell us more about that Women in Sport Forum? How have you kind of amplified voices of women's sports players at university?
Yeah, so I'm not going to take really credit for it. Well, it wasn't me. It was kind of building on what the previous VP Sport started, and sort of spoke to quite a few of our influential sort of leaders in sport on campus, and how can we as a union better support you in what you do, and where are the issues of there's clearly still a lot of misogyny around, and particularly around sport and male dominated sport spaces. So that kind of just conversation started with quite a number of people from across different clubs. We've done a couple of events so far of sort of like specifically celebrating women in sport, and sort of like the Women's Sport Forum do that sort of celebration aspect first, and then we had a bit of a panel evening where we sort of spoke about like the challenges that come with being a woman in sport, and sort of like how we can go about challenging that, and sort of turning the face of it, and then sort of I know that next year they're excited to start it again and keep building it.
Yeah, awesome. And just a word there on the first half. Very cagey opening, very physical. There's a hell of a battle at the breakdown at the moment. But yeah, I mean, what we expect to them? Obviously disappointing to be down 2 tries.
I think they're two very fierce teams. Obviously Lancaster's promotion last year. Amelia, you'll be able to tell us all about that. But Lancaster's promotion into Division 1 was sort of good for them, and they've had some tough games this year and come out fighting. And I know York have sort of had relatively good season as well, so it's good to see two very good quality teams come together. Like I say, unfortunate that they didn't punch it in. I think the Heat is struggling on the sideline, not to get sort of out of breath and stuff. I know they've been doing sort of stints in the sauna prepping for the Heat, but
Awesome. Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the game.
Amazing. Thank you.
And the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, brilliant. Very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So we are now going to be joined by York Sport President, I believe.
Yes, Tanisha Jane, better known as TJ, is joining us. Okay.
I'm going to try my best.
Through the excitement of the weekend, you have lost your voice. So it's clearly been a great, exciting weekend for you, seeing lots and lots of sport. If you can you tell us a little bit about your thoughts on the first half and how the girls are doing?
Oh, I mean, they're wonderful. They've won their last 2 games against Lancaster this year by like 44 and 50 something. So I don't doubt that they will win this. It's 12-0 right now, but let's see what happens. I don't understand much of rugby, but I think it's going well.
Yes.
And yeah, Pierre, maybe just a word on sort of like the atmosphere here. I mean, this is like sort of the penultimate fixture of the weekend. It's been an amazing weekend overall, but just a word on the crowd, and both the home and the away teams are giving it a lot of a chance in the support as well.
It's a good crowd. I've heard a bit of booing for York, but it is a home game for Lancaster, so that's as expected. But overall, everyone's quite nice, and it's really sunny, so I think everyone's in a good mood. So it's all good all around.
Yeah, far cry from yesterday morning when it was just it was just miserable,
Raining.
misty and rainy. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could get, whilst you're on air, give kind of your verdicts over the weekend as a whole. I mean, I know it's obviously been not the result that York were after, but there have been some notable successes in there. Any words on that at all?
I mean, yeah, it's away roses. It's always difficult. Like Lancaster has put everything in there, and well done to them for winning this. Obviously, I'm very happy with how the weekend's gone. I've seen our athletes push their limits. Some clubs had honestly have done so well, and I'm just very proud of every athlete that has participated. It's really difficult coming away to Lancaster. It's a lot of them. It's their first away roses, and it can be mentally very draining, especially when you've got an entire crowd against you. So I'm just proud, to be honest.
Cheers. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
TJ.
much.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
the rest of the
Eric.
weekend.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend and the rest of the half. So the ref has called for the start of the second half. So if you're joining us on URY at 88.3 FM, Bellrig at 95.3 FM, and watching live on www.roses.live.uk, York are down a player, and they've made some substitutions. And another loose kickoff from York, but Lancaster have received possession by number 20, Isabel Beamo. And then it's back to Catherine Jolly for a clearing kick. She finds green space there, and
Very
the number
nice kick
11,
from Catherine Jolly.
Rosie Pearman, is...
And I think just a little knock on from York there. Eudora getting a bit too keen, but they are coming back for the knock on.
Yes, the referee Irving calls play back because there was knock-ons from both teams, so it has to be a scrum to Lancaster because York knocked on first. But great start there from Lancaster. It's just what they wanted.
It is just what they wanted. I think they're going to come back with the same kind of pressure that they ended the half with, and just get back. Both sides just need to get back into the rhythm that they were found in the first half.
Yeah, exactly. So, as you were saying, number 20, Isabel Biama, is on in the back row for Lancaster as they look to apply some pressure. York were looking to get the edge in the scrum, and they put on the pressure again, but the ball is still at the back there for number 9, Catherine Jolly. She moves it. Oh, short ball there.
Wow, that was a huge hit.
To Olivia Golan, but massive tackle. And
Injured player, I think.
I think that's the number 12, Olivia Goland. Huge hit there.
That was unbelievable from York. It's a shame that she sustained an injury in the process. Looks a bit serious. I think she's going to start receiving some medical attention now.
And the water carriers bring the water on the pitch. It is absolutely really hot out there if you're listening on the airlines or watching on our streams. Far cry from what the weather was yesterday, and we'll call time back. But a reminder of the score: York ahead 12 points to 0, but are still down a player because captain Holly O'Sullivan got a yellow card towards the end of the first half.
Not sure how much time she's still got on that. I think probably about 6 or
5 or 6 minutes. So
still
good
got an
news.
injured Lancaster player. But
Rivetto, the number 13, who took an injury, she's sitting up at least, just getting some water and attention from the Lancaster support staff.
Fun fact about Chiara Rivetto is that she is a med student here at Lancaster, so I'm not sure what happens when you get injured as a med student, if your brain starts immediately thinking about every sort of injury you could have sustained that you know about, but I'm glad to see that she is sitting up and now getting up.
That's now
which
getting up.
is
That's
good news.
Is she returning to the field of play, or is she going off for a substitution?
I think it did seem like it could be a
Yeah.
head injury, so I think she's going to have to be assessed by the medics, but they will send a replacement on if they haven't done so already.
Really interesting question there. I mean, I study history, so when thinking about roses, all I can think of is just history and War of the Roses and things like that. I mean, what degree do you do? Would that be something that goes on in your head? When you're
Well,
playing rugby?
I graduated last year with an English literature degree, so I'm not quite sure how much crossover there is with the two, but it was always a nice kind of break from all the books and everything for me.
Yes,
so.
absolutely. Well, it's playing a part in your wonderful commentary thus far today. So, yes, York are in possession on the scrum. Early shove there, I think, from Lancaster, which has been taken quickly.
And York go quick again. This is really something that they're going to exploit from Lancaster, is that not being ready to go. Lancaster, still need to get back 10 and everything. So
another huge carry from the fly half, number 10, vice captain Sophie Bates. She's been a real handful for the defences out there today. I guess York will look to try and get their backs involved more in this game. A lot of this has been played in the forwards. So we're on just about the halfway
Bates,
line.
I have actually played against her. She's a very versatile player. She was playing 8, I believe, when I was playing, and now she's fly half. She does a lot. She kicks. She can throw.
And that was another whip of a ball there to her fullback, I believe, Bailey McIntosh, who was still going. Lancaster go over the ball there in the breakdown, but York retained possession. Into the forwards, Norris. Tip on there. Big double tackle there on Lancaster. They're beginning to read these tip-on passes, but they're still coming to the left-hand side. Ooh, little knock on there.
A little bit messy, and that'll be a scrum for Lancaster.
So remember, York is still attacking with just 14 players on the pitch. They're a woman down after Holly O'Sullivan went to the bin for team indiscipline. There's still probably a couple of minutes left on that yellow card, so we'll let you know when she returns to the pitch. But that was good pressure there from York, even though despite being a player down.
Yeah, and I think Lancaster again, they'll be looking to exploit the space that the player down leaves on the pitch, which they have unfortunately yet to do so, but still got some time on that card. And Catherine Jolly takes it off the back of the scrum.
She's looking to go around the outside.
Is looking to go.
Still great cover tackle there from Jessica Abraham. Ball still there for Lancaster. That was a great run there from Catherine Jolly, but it's a penalty for holding on. And again, Lancaster can't resource there. The ref has blown the whistle.
Looks like somebody's just struggling there a little bit on the York side.
Could have been the captain, the vice captain there, Sophie Bates. Linesman's having a word there with Irving, the referee. We'll see what's being communicated. So we'll just see what's going on here. Reminder of the score. Score is 12-0 to York.
We are just over 6 minutes into the second half as well.
So if you are joining us, of course, the result of Roses is already determined. It was determined last night, confirmed after the darts fixture, very late at 10 o'clock at night, that Lancaster were going to win Roses for a third year in a row. But we've still got plenty to play for, a lot of pride. Two very high-quality women's rugby teams battling out for some honour and, putting on a show in the final fixtures of the Roses weekend. So Evie Potter to throw in from the line-out from a kick. How's the line-out drills from York? Good.
Good take from York there, and it's going to go straight into the hands of, I believe that is their number 8, although
yeah, I think that was number 8.
We cannot see their numbers anymore, so we'll do our best to make sure that we are saying their names and numbers as best we can.
Yeah, so Charlie Norris has been really prominent over the ball and carrying the ball as well. Got great leg drive. Really good hit there, though, from Cassie Cutler for Lancaster as York try and keep it in the forwards. Pressure from Lancaster on the breakdown comes to fruition. No fruition, sorry. Out to the...
Big hit off the ball, but the ref does not make a call about that.
So the ball in the backs is not the best, but York is still in possession, although Lancaster have forced them back a few metres. Jackson there.
Ball, but I believe that was backwards, and the number 13 is looking to go round the Lancaster defence.
That's Charlie Woolley, but York still going backwards here. They probably should be playing the territory game. They need to remember that they're down a player, and they need to be playing territory and the clock. Lancaster go for another sniff, but to no avail at the breakdown. Another big carry from Katie Jackson, though, the big open side flanker from York. Play around the half, and they're looking to go around the outside edge, and she got it. Oh, but great cover tackle there from the replacement back rower for Lancaster, Isabel Biamo, and a penalty to Lancaster. Not
rolling away.
Not rolling away. So you're really guilty of overplaying there on the halfway line. They're still down a play, I believe. Although they may be looking to go back to a full complement. We'll bring confirmation of that. But the penalty kick is not...
knocked on, I believe, there as well.
Yes.
So Lancaster will have another scrum much farther up the pitch, right where they would probably want to be at this point in the match.
I'm sure the kicker will claim that was planned. the fullback would drop it, and she didn't miss touch. But nonetheless, Lancaster are in prime position. Here we go. Holly O'Sullivan for York, the captain, returns to the field. So York are back up to a full complement, and then York also make a substitution. Number 14, Tan Hales, is going off the field. replacement. So pressure on here for Lancaster to get something out of this.
Big scrum now, and looks like
to the floor. The ref.
I think they'll reset that by the looks of it. Ref just having a word with, I think, the front row players there.
So yeah, the ref has been letting quite a lot of these scrums be a contest. Just because there's been shoving doesn't mean stuff's been called. It's quite good. Play has been pretty crisp from the scrum half, from the bottom of the scrum, and Lancaster will have another opportunity here to try and form some kind of attack. Free kick to Lancaster.
Looks like he motioned that York was driving to the ground, but
or going too early. So
going too early, perhaps. Yeah.
Right, what are they going to do here? It's tap from Catherine Jolly. Oh, bit of a fumble, but still in the arms of Lancaster. The number 17, Emily Hawkins, with a carry.
Very, very nice carry there, and it's still in Lancaster possession.
So
they will really be looking for that try now.
They're right on York's line. Will they keep it in the forwards, or will they give it to the backs? We're not unsure what's going on. Has it been held up? I think it's been brought to ground. And
still Lancaster possession. They are pushing and going with those forwards, try and get the score.
So it's quite messy at these breakdowns, still in the forwards. And it's still in the forwards, still there. They're going.
Oh, looks like some excitement.
It's a try!
Lancaster try!
We never scored that try yet.
Not too sure. Everybody looks kind of equally excited, although I think it was perhaps Casey Cutler.
Who's getting the most of the congratulations.
To be honest, I think that was definitely very much a team try.
It did seem that way. They put
They
a lot of
really
pressure on the
worked
York
for that.
defence.
They worked for that.
Yes.
And Lancaster supporters are now in full voice. So finally, 10 minutes into the second half, Lancaster get their first point of the game, which is a try scored by 5 points.
Unfortunately, it does look like there is another York player injured, so she will get some medical treatment while both teams reset.
Now the conversion's in the hand of Lancaster number 9, Catherine Jolly. I know we've been practicing our conversions, me and her, this week, and it's definitely in the range that she can get. I know that for a fact, but whether the pressure of the crowd and the event will put her off.
Just as you say, there is a little bit of a breeze that has entered the pitch, as we unfortunately see the medics enter onto the field for that injured York player. That looks pretty serious, pretty nasty. Let's hope everything's okay. So we're just waiting for the York player there to receive some attention to the injury that was scored in the build-up to Lancaster's first try of the game. So if you're just joining us, you are listening to URY at 88.3 FM. You're also listening to Bellrig 95.3 FM and watching live on www.roseslive.co.uk.
Oh, and she just wide from Jolly. I know she'll be gutted with that, but you know, she did her best.
It's a good effort from Lancaster, and this is, the start of perhaps momentum that they need to build into the second half to, put up that contest against a very, very good York side, and exploit those errors in discipline that they've been giving away. So,
and I think as well, Lancaster they've set up really quickly actually right here. To prevent York from going quickly. I know that's something we in the twos exploited yesterday, was York weren't set quick enough.
Yeah.
So for York, Holly O'Sullivan, the captain, and the vice-captain, Sophie Bates, are in deep conversations with the officials. I believe it could be about the injured player. There's clearly something they're not very happy with. The injured player is still receiving attention. If I can see the number, I believe it might be the scrum half or the number 8. The numbers are not quite so clear, but play can't resume until the injured player leaves the field.
Does seem quite serious, wishing her all the best. But we have had a replacement, I've noticed, for York, which is, I think, is number 17 or number 19, Katie Thornton, who was in fact a Lancaster student for 4
Yeah,
years.
she was a Lancs girl.
Moving
She
to
was a
York
Lancs girl and
for
moved
her
over to the opposition.
PhD, which is impressive, but unfortunately at the opposite side, although she still is wearing a red scrum cap, so perhaps can't get too far away from Lancaster.
You can take the girl out of Lancs, but
Yes, of course, both the rugby teams at Lancaster University and the University of York are very high level, high professional setups, and I'm sure Katie Thornton will be playing fully committed for her New York team. But that's a great fact, and it's great that you have instances like that in the derby as Cutler takes it in.
beautiful catch there from
Great
Casey.
hit from Cutler, but also a big hit from Holly O'Sullivan.
Big tackle from the captain as York pile on the pressure in the
They've
breakdown.
turned it over. They've turned
And
it
it's a
over.
turnover.
That was brilliant Jacqueline there from York.
That was good. And
So
it
they
can
go
confirm-
down the blind side. Big carry there from the number 4, Imogen Hipwell, who has only started playing rugby this year. This is her first year of full-time, full-contact 15s women's rugby.
Yeah. There's a few of those on Lancaster as well.
That sounded to be pretty painful.
That was number 2 that went down there, Evie Potter, in audible pain. It looked like it could be a leg injury. It wasn't like a wrap tackle. Didn't look any high or anything. So it might be her leg or ankle.
I know that a few players from Lancaster have done really well to make it and to get onto this pitch today, recovering from injuries and things. They've had rough few weeks with injuries. I'm sure York are the same. So everything's been built into this match.
And the vice captain Sophie Bates signals for the sub Evie Potter to come off.
Unfortunate to see, really. You never want to see people get injured. We can confirm it was the number 9 for York that was receiving medical attention before. She's now gone off, and unfortunately Evie Potter as well, and of course wishing them both the best for their recovery.
It actually looks like number 9's still on.
Is she?
That one there.
Oh, number 9 is still on the field. I think it was
Oh.
number 8.
Possibly number 8 then.
Number 8. Number 9's definitely still on.
Yeah, so if you're listening on the airwaves, unfortunately where we're stationed is to the back of most of the action, so we're quite far away from everyone. It's only when sort of York or Lancaster in the first half are right on the try line right near us that we can see much of the action.
Yeah, right now number 2's getting carried off for York.
And being clapped off as well in good rugby sportsmanship, which is a fantastic aspect of the sport, really, which is you are rivals on pitch, but I'm sure they'll all share a few drinks once the match is over as
The
well.
huge part of rugby is respect, and that's one of the best parts about it. Yeah, enemies on the pitch, but
Yeah, I hope that Evie Potter is okay. She was audibly in pain in that tackle. I think, judging by how she's leaving the field, it was a leg/ankle injury, but I wish her all the best and that it's not a very serious injury. So it should be a scrum unless an offence of sorts was committed. We're just waiting for the player to leave the pitch before Irving.
No, it is York ball, actually, and they have taken it
quickly
with a hard run from...
That was number 8. That was
That was number 8.
Yeah, so I don't know who's went off injured then. Attempted out the back from number 3, but it went to the floor.
It was backwards though, so they can still play on.
O'Sullivan with a cutout
Backwards
pass.
again. Some messy handling to start after that stoppage for injury.
Yeah, we've not really seen a lot of clean back play, I would have to say, from both sides today. It's just been in the forwards. Big carry there from number 19, Lauren Massey for Lancaster. Catherine Jolly.
that was a great tactical kick there by Joel.
In the arms of McIntosh, the fullback. Tries to set round, but is met by Lancaster tacklers. One of them including Isabel Bayamo, the replacement blindside flanker, and the ref calls scrum to York. So we have yet again another scrum. But yeah, I feel like today we've not seen a lot of action in the backs. I mean, York were trying to exploit the wide fringes a little bit, but it always felt a bit clunky, a bit messy. Is that just kind of the nature of the atmosphere and the conditions? It's a long weekend as well. Those girls will be absolutely shattered out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it really depends, for some people the pressure gets to them. For some people they're pretty chill. Even as a Lancaster player, you're going to be feeling that pressure from a lot of people watching as, throughout the season you don't have a lot of people supporting, but I think handling can kind of take some hits just from that pressure.
It's just nerves, really.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful out the back offload from O'Sullivan, but really well read by Lancaster, and the back three player there was shoved into touch with ease. So, yeah, I mean, what you were just saying before that, I agree. It's one of those very high pressure environments. I mean, this is a huge crowd, which is one of the amazing things about Roses, that these kind of sports can get massive crowds like this, and it does put players under pressure. So. Karis Wilson's throwing for Lancaster on the line out on the halfway line.
Yeah, these crowds are huge. I think it's the biggest crowds these girls have ever and will ever play in front of.
Bit messy from Lancaster the line out, but it's still in their possession. We've got Talia Treble, who's made some incredible runs throughout this match so far.
Yeah, another
she
big
is
carry.
a force to be reckoned with. Still Lancaster
Beautiful
possession.
run there. Was
Number
that by
16,
Rhea
Rhea
Middlemass?
Middlemass with the Rhea Middlemass with the carry there.
Brilliant carry, doing the Scots proud.
And fortunately knocked on there and now in York's possession.
What will York do here off turnover ball? Or they just keep it in the forwards?
Still playing the advantage, running it in, using their forwards.
So they've kept it out of the ball again. Jackson with a carry keeps the ball alive.
With the offload to number 18, who goes down.
Out to Bates, into O'Sullivan, the captain. Lovely cut-out ball there to McIntosh, the fullback.
That is a great
That was a
run.
beautiful ball.
She's got player inside her. O'Sullivan is
And
there.
good
Taken
coverage
down by
from
That's a
Olivia
great
Garland
cover
at number
tackle from
12.
Olivia Garland. York is still in possession. Great take there.
Absolutely
into
brilliant
touch.
defence there from Lancaster.
Lancaster's cover defence this match has been just amazing.
And also a brilliant read of the play there by York.
Yes.
They spotted those gaps and they took them. Unfortunately, Olivia Golan is just speedy.
I mean, you could see that tackle happening before that she even got the ball. Like she read that play like a book. I mean,
She knew where it was going and she just made it. She put those legs on overdrive.
but yeah, so we've got a line out here for Karis Wilson, who throws it out to Biomo, the blindside.
Oh,
flanker, who
and it's
puts on a bit
Isabel
of pace.
Pajomo.
Isabel Pajomo's
Pajomo,
actually
sorry.
a multi-sport athlete, and she was doing Rose's cheerleading on Friday.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So, a woman of many talents.
she's built different, and she's known to the team by Doug
Doug.
quite commonly.
So despite that massive carry there from Doug Pajomo, York have turned over possession and they're keeping it in the forwards just by the sticks. Out to Bates, the fly half.
Good
Cut out
ball
ball.
work from
A
Bates.
huge pass there
But I
from
don't
Bates.
think it was quite caught. An ambitious pass into
Just
touch.
fumbled.
York again into touch. Right option, but a bit of a floaty pass gave time there for the Lancastrian defence to smother York again into touch, and Lancaster hang on again. You know, and it's the 62-minute. A score here for York could be the game. So Lancaster have got to hold on here with everything that they've got.
I think Lancaster would be aware of that as well, that it's really crucial to not give away any points right now. And the ball is to Lancaster. Another messy line out though.
Another messy line out, and I think it's a York ball. A tap down that wasn't received by any of the Lancaster players, and York have the ball. Eleanor, the scrum half, fights to get possession of the ball, but it's loose, and I think Lancaster have turned that over. And it's a scrum to Lancaster. Unplayable ball called there by Irving, the referee. And Lancaster have a scrum just ahead of their 5-metre line.
Yeah, I think they'll be looking to take the scrum and kick it down
Yeah.
back into York's hands.
Surely they have to exit kick from here. I think they'd be dangerous to run through the hands, especially with the loose breakdowns we've been having.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you know, it's quite tempting to run it from your own half, but how York have been over the breakdown, and I think the sensible option would just probably try and cause havoc with a kick into open field in York's own half. But we'll see what happens here. As number 10, Rosie Williamson, feeds in the ball to the scrum.
Which leaves number 9, Catherine Jolly, available for that kick.
Williamson to her half-back partner. Oh, the pass isn't clean. And
Fortunate pass there. That's
Very
not a knock on you want to give away.
But that would be spectacular news for York as they look to get those points on the board.
Yeah, York will be looking to score now. If they don't score here, they're running out of options.
I mean, to be fair, you know, that pressure from that pass all came from the pressure at that scrum. That was not a clean ball at the back there. Williamson, he's been named at fly halves, probably not as used to passing balls off the deck as a half-back partner, Captain Jolly. These things happen, but York are in possession on the ball as Irving calls the scrum to form. Tap in there from Eleanor Pamerall, the scrum half.
They're going to go straight out to the backs
to Bates.
and then to Holly O'Sullivan looking for another try.
Still on her feet, but
just
tackled.
Short.
There's loads of numbers here. York should
They
score
need to
here.
come right,
And they do.
Try for York. Scored by
number 13. So
well done, York. That was very, very well worked.
Charlie Woolley there with the third try for York, 17-5. I mean, that was the overlap there to exploit. They just had to score, and they did. Composure by Bates, the fly half, and Charlie Woolley, the outside centre, to dot down over the line.
Yeah, so the score now stands at 17-5 before Sophie Bates takes her conversion, and we are in the 65th minute of the women's first team rugby match.
Yeah, I think in this break, a fun fact about Lancaster number 10 Rosie Williamson is just last year she actually broke her knee from she fell over a traffic cone, but yeah, she to get back to this physical fitness of being on this pitch, quite impressive.
Sophie Bates now preparing for her conversion.
Just to the right hand side of the sticks from where she's kicking it from. And that's just wide. A couple of choice language from the Lancaster supporters there before she took the kick, but to be expected on these kind of weekends. We apologise if you did hear that on the airways. So because that conversion didn't go over, the score remains 17-5 to University of York women's first rugby team.
They are getting quickly set up to receive this kickoff from Lancaster once again. Probably feeling pretty good about themselves now. They've got a comfortable lead ahead of Lancaster, but still just under 15 minutes left, so lots to play for as well.
Not unassailable.
Certainly.
Rugby is a sport where you can score quickly and the game can change in the flick of a wrist.
Absolutely.
Great
take from Katie Thornton there, who
is
away.
Katie Thornton, the
And
former
she's
Lancaster
still
player.
Going, but taken
down by Eudora at fullback.
Excellent.
Sorry, no,
there.
it was Dora.
No, it was Eudora.
Was it Eudora? She's back up again too quickly.
Yes, that was a great cover tackle there by Eudora, the 15 for Lancaster. But York in possession of the ball just outside the 22. Another massive carry there from 8 Norris, but Lancaster over the ball, and it's a turnover. I think that was Catherine Jolly in there turning the ball over there. I mean, fabulous run from Norris,
Good
but
work.
unfortunately away from all her support.
Brilliant.
There's been some good jackling from both sides, I think, throughout this match. Some exciting turnovers at crucial points.
Yeah, it's certainly been an entertaining match so far.
Definitely.
So Cutler there with a carry, a tireless workhorse performance from the number 4 for Lancaster today, as Catherine Joy looks to get the ball back into Williamson, the fly half's hands. She kicks through.
She opted for the kick.
McIntosh fields quite
Collected
easily.
by the fullback.
Comes back.
And another
Big
tackle
hit.
from Eudora.
Great tackle there from Eudora Adelson.
Fullback on fullback contact there. And a bit scrappy from York right now. Some loopy passes that keep hitting the ground.
Yeah,
and
they appear to
The
be
ref has
panicking
called for
actually.
the ref has called for the scrum, and that's an opportunity there for Lancaster.
there's
Yes.
a big opportunity here. About in the middle of the pitch. So some chances here. What do you think? Do you think they're going to run it in with their backs? Or would you go off the back of the scrum? What do you think?
They've got to play here. I mean, the play they've been trying to do is get round the outside with the scrum half, Jolly. But because of the pressure that York have been putting on in the pack, that's just not working. I think what they need to do is they just need to get the ball out quickly and as fast as they can. And let's see the wingers touch the ball. I don't think the Lancastrian wingers have touched the ball that much in attack today. So ball in there from Jolly, the scrum half.
As we approach those last 10 minutes, you're going to have some exhausted bodies on both
Oh, and
sides.
a brilliant
especially with
run.
Oh.
unfortunate dropped ball there, so it will be another scrum.
Yeah, so as we can see there, if you're watching live on www.roseslive.co.uk or if you're listening on the airwaves, from the scrum, Lancaster are trying to do this wraparound play from the scrum half, but unfortunately it's a bit lateral, and then that final pass there was a bit too high, and the replacement, Rosie Locke, 21, unfortunately knocked it on, so opportunity gone there for Lancaster.
Do hate to see as well from afar there is an ambulance being loaded up, I believe, for the York player, so although we have made a few mistakes on who it might be, we would just like to wish her all the best in her recovery, and hopefully it is nothing too serious. But we're going for the scrum. It is a York feed,
Big pressure
but
on
they will
there.
reset.
A lot of pressure coming in there from the York front row. Ref blows the whistle. Doesn't say that's an early shove. I think he's just going to go for a reset scrum here. Mr. Irving, the referee. So just talking to both front rows, because in the scrum you do have to take the hit, but you also can't put too much pressure before the ball comes in. So after that talking to, the front rows are ready to start again.
We are now entering the last 10 minutes of this match, so everything to play for here still. The crowd is continuously building as there is one final Roses match after us, which is the men's first team, so lots of Lancaster support, but equally lots of York support.
Pressure on from Lancaster in the scrum. Bit of a fumble, but goes backwards, says the ref. Pomeroy comes away, the scrum half, for York with the ball. Still in York's hands. Thornton, I think, there with a carry. Scragged there by Lancastrian supporters. 17 comes over for the ruck. Out the back there, into the replacement, Owen Williams for a big carry. Out to Bates.
To the backs is a
They've
big
got numbers here, they explore it.
And Holly O'Sullivan with an incredible offload, and she's still going. Inside ball to Holly O'Sullivan once again.
Great interplay
just
there
taken
from
down
York.
by Catherine Jolly.
That was fantastic attacking structure from York there, and a lovely offload from Holly
That
O'Sullivan.
out the back offload was pretty
That was pretty
something.
professional from her.
That was outstanding
That was
rugby.
a backhanded offload. You
Yes.
rarely see those. Another
Holly
tackle
O'Sullivan couldn't
from
get the ball out where, and there's
York.
still an overlap if York can exploit it.
But Lancaster now set with their defence.
And a big
That
tackle, big
scramble.
dominant tackle there from
Yeah.
Bella.
Bates here looking to draw in the players. Frees up the offload,
Messy
but it's
offload, but
a
recovered
knock
from
on.
Olivia Gallen.
And it's a knock on. They've got advantage.
Lancaster advantage.
Lancaster have done so well to prevent that. That was great interplay down that side to
Big kick from Catherine Jolly.
Brilliant kick there from Jolly.
Oh, and through the
And
hands of
the
McIntosh.
fullback just couldn't catch it.
Still bouncing away. And Eudora with
Another
the tackle, but
from
it's
She kept the ball
offloaded.
alive. So number
Somehow.
21, Indiona Vale. Ball there for York. I mean, when we get a break in play, we'll have to talk about that offload again from Captain Holly O'Sullivan. That was
Absolutely.
sensational.
And here it is, a little
That was
break.
incredible.
Penalty from York for holding on, a penalty to Lancaster for holding on from York. I mean, that was fantastic scramble defence from Lancaster. We saw,
Yes.
there was the overlap. They got the ball throughout the hands, keeping the ball alive. But fantastic scramble there. And Lancaster have still
Yeah.
got this belief. There's just under 8 minutes to go. Anything could happen.
Quite
I
a few
think-
substitutions happening. So we've got the number 8 for Lancaster, number 4 going off, being replaced by, I think, Emily Mander
on-
and Emily Hawkins.
Yeah, on comes Emily Hawkins.
Big kick from Catherine Jolly to look for that line out.
So, yes, as a reminder of the score, it's the 73rd minute. Lancaster have got 5 points from just a single unconverted try, and York have scored 3 tries, only 1 converted, so it's 17-5 to York
I just
in
can't
the
quite
final
believe-
day of Roses.
Yeah, that
I
was an
was having
incredible
shock.
offload.
That
I
was-
hope
that was so cool.
well captured on the live stream so that she can go back and have a look at that herself.
I'll be on the
Yeah.
Instagram tonight.
I'll be having that on
Absolutely,
repeat.
yeah.
I think as well, mad
Big throw in
respect
from
for
Paris Wilson,
Oh,
but it is received by York hands.
turnover there at the
Yeah.
line out from York, but I think there's been a knock on, so back in Lancaster's hands. Number 16, Rhea Middlemas with a carry for Lancaster.
And with this
Huge
venture into
carry.
York's 22, they're going to be looking for that try. There's just over 5 minutes to go, according to our clock, but perhaps not quite in line with the officials.
Big carry there from Shannon Brennan.
Yes.
York go over the ball, and it's a penalty for holding on. So
Yeah.
another holding on penalty. But just going back to the offload again. I mean, we've seen York try and get the offload out throughout the game. Like they're bringing the ball into contact and trying to keep the ball alive off the deck, or out the hands in the tackle. As we see a kick into touch there from Sophie Bates, the vice captain. So we've definitely that was a tactic from York. That wasn't
Absolutely,
Ollie
yes.
O'Sullivan going off the cuff there.
Yeah, no, I think it was executed perfectly, and remaining calm to do the offloads back and forth between them was just incredible. But then hats off to Lancaster for being able to defend that.
Yeah,
and
it is now a
preventing that
York
try.
throw in, received by Katie Thornton, but not straight.
So pressure there from Lancaster, and they've got the scrum. Just under 5 minutes to go. More players coming onto the field, I believe.
Talia Treble and Casey Cutler, I believe, back on the pitch, they will be replacing
16
Emily
and 17.
Hawkins and
Rhea Middlemas.
Rhea Middlemas.
And it's both of Rhea and Emily's last ever university game today. So it's
I imagine
a
that'll
big
be
day
the
for
case
them.
for quite a lot of players on this pitch. It's a very, very big and exciting achievement to play for your first team at Roses with such a crowd and so much support. So I hope they are all quite proud of themselves as well.
What a way to sign off, regardless of the result. Massive way to sign off on your university rugby career. As Jolly has the ball back of the scrum here for Lancaster. Attempted
from
kick
Rosie
through.
Williamson.
Is anyone there to cover it, or is the kick too long?
That kick
And
chase.
I believe it was dotted down first by York, so it'll be a goal line dropout. The first goal line dropout we've had of the game.
interesting. We haven't seen any of these so far.
Good tactic actually from Lancaster to explore that rush defence. There was definitely space there, but unfortunately a York defender, or unfortunately for Lancaster, a York defender was there first to cover. And there's
Huge kick from Sophie Bates there.
it's gone backwards.
Still in.
Pressure.
No, but received by Holly O'Sullivan.
Lancaster try and turn it over again at the ruck. Still a lot of pressure there, but I think it's in York hands. Into the forwards for another carry. Still going. Oh, and a turnover there to number 20, Doug, who's still on her feet. Still going. Still going. Still going.
She has some incredible pace on her, but unfortunately just couldn't break away from that York defence. I think, Lancaster with a messy,
But it's still backwards. Into Williamson, the fly half. Takes it in herself. Lancaster still in possession with just under 3 minutes to go. Down by 2 converted tries. Down by 2. Yeah, they need 2 converted tries in quick succession. And time is running against them. I apologise, my quick math isn't the best.
Yes, we're approaching the last 2 minutes of this very exciting, very, very amazing match.
Another tireless big carry from the Lancaster tight head prop, Talia Treble. She's been really, really good in the carry all day. But it's another holding on penalty by Lancaster University. Unfortunately, I think that should be the game.
Yeah, it's just not the kind of penalty you want to be giving away when you're putting pressure. But York's possession now, and I believe if I was them, I would just be running it in until the time goes dead.
Well, I think that's what they're trying to do there with the tap and go. They're not interested in line-outs. They're just interested in keeping the ball in the hand. Arwen Williams with a big carry. Loads of Lancastrian girls there to take her down. Lancaster over the ball, but I think the ball is still there for Eleanor, the scrum half. Big rumble up there from the forwards.
Credit to both sides, but I'll say particularly Lancaster, because they've been playing so much defence. As this game has progressed, they have not let those tackles slide. They have still been putting in some pretty big hits, even as I'm sure they are hot and tired and exhausted.
Yes. And both teams have been conceding a lot of breakdown penalties there.
Yes.
That was a turnover there by Cassie Cutler, who has been absolutely massive for Lancaster today. She's been an absolute workhorse.
This is her third Rose's first team match. She has started in every match, I believe, since she's been at this university. Also another med student.
Well, hats off to Casey there, as Lancaster look to get a score before full time. We're just approaching the final minutes of the game. Reminder of the score: Lancaster 5, York 17.
So is a Karis Wilson throw-in, who, as far as I'm aware, has played pretty much a full 80 this match, and she, again, hats off to her, has done amazing, but not straight, unfortunately. So York will be very happy with this, as they probably just will play it, as you said, run it with the forwards and let the time go dead.
So yeah, it will be hopefully it'll be a final scrum of the game. I mean, it's been a very quality. It's been a very quality match. Big crowd. A lot of stuff in the back to talk about, but physicality, breakdown, scrums, power in the forwards by both teams. It's been a great match.
Absolutely, and I think importantly, there's been no complacency on either side. York haven't gotten too comfortable with their lead, and Lancaster haven't given up. So really well done for both sides, as it's kicked into some lovely space, but
Massive
caught by number 11, Olivia Gowland, I believe. No, sorry, not number 11. Rosie Pearman, my mistake, Rosie Pearman.
Knock on there, and then the ref will. That's a knock on from York. So the ref is there's still time for the scrum. Still time for the scrum.
Our visual time is currently gone into 80 minutes, but Lancaster's standing on a sub, so there still is something to play for, although we are not sure how much longer now is left in this match.
Unfortunately, the official match day clock is different from the officials one, so there might be a slight discrepancy in time, which we do, of course, apologise for. But last roll of the dice here for Lancaster to change the score.
Huge roar of support from the Lancaster supporters, trying to give those girls on the pitch lots of energy to really push through those final few minutes or even seconds.
So Catherine Joy, I think, just getting the confirmation there from the ref. This is the final play as she attempts to put in from the scrum. Pressure there from York, but into Williamson, the fly half. Tries to take on Jackson, who has been awesome for York, the number 7. And a turnover. Into the hands they go.
Looking for that final try, it seems. Beautiful offload, but taken down by Doug, I believe.
Another amazing cover tackle from Doug.
For one more phase.
Still going, York. That's Katie Jackson there with probably her 20th carry of the match. Yeah. I think I'm exaggerating there a little bit, but
penalty for Lancaster.
Penalty for Lancaster. I think York was sealing off the ruck there.
Yes.
So what will Lancaster do here? They of course can kick it for touch and play for the line out. That is within the rules of the game.
And that does look like what they're going to do. And just reaches touch. Who do you think, who have been your standout players from both sides this match?
I think I was just going to say, like, Katie Jackson, open side flanker. This game has been won on power in the pack. I'm not sure we are in charge of naming player of the match, but I think if we are, she would certainly be my candidate today. There's been control in the halfbacks as well by Eleanor Pamerol and Sophie Bates, the vice captain, and good leadership.
Absolutely.
Aside from the other card from the captain Holly O'Sullivan. So a lot of York players can leave with their heads held high.
Karis Wilson was a throw in, received by Casey Cutler and out to the backs. Olivia Gowland now has the ball. To number 14, Amelia McCormack, taken down.
Good run there by McCormack, and they still have an advantage on this West Hand side.
But the ball's gone loose, but it still will be Lancaster possession.
In at the side there at the ruck, I believe, and trying to contest the breakdown. So still an opportunity here for Lancaster to get something from this game, and the crowd are clearly incensed by something. But I think it was the ball being kicked away there quite craftily by one of the York players. So yeah, I mean, what about you? Who are your standout players in the match today?
Well, obviously as captain from York, Holly O'Sullivan has had a fantastic match, and from Lancaster, I mean, lots of good work. I think Talia Treble had some amazing runs, front row. Also, Casey Cutler has done really well. And in the backs, Olivia Gowland as well has had a great match. But lots and lots of positives to take, I think, if you're either team.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. And I'll mention some of the Lancastrian players as well. I mean, the impact of Doug off the bench, number 20 in the second half. Loads of great cover tackles, really dangerous and elusive on the ball in hand as well. And again, I want to shout out Casey Cutler, as you say, her third rose in a row. Outstanding shift from the second row, who I believe did get Lancaster's score. So.
York ball now, a little switch,
which
seemed to work very well, but messily offloaded, but still in York's possession.
York's in possession of the ball. So the match clock has been 80 for a few minutes or so. That might have been because the match clock didn't stop for that injury time. So that might explain the massive discrepancy in the match clock. But York's still in possession of the ball. Tip on there in the forwards, which York have been doing a lot today with success.
Yes.
Bates gets the ball, wrestles with the defenders, and is still on her feet. Brought down to the floor, in the arms of Eleanor Pomerell, the scrum half. She's on her own though, but the York player's there to cover. Attempted counter ruck from Lancaster, which York have just about held off, and they keep it in the forwards with Amy Williams.
Does look like they're just trying to run it in. I'm not sure if they know how much time is left, let alone us. So,
no.
But actually, out to the backs.
And then
but into touch.
Into touch there, number 20 for York, Laura Poundsmain, one of the replacement backs. So it looks like another line out for Lancaster. We'll just see what happens here at the line out. If you're listening on URY 88.3 FM, or if you're of a Lancaster persuasion, you are listening to us on Bale Rig at 95.3 FM, or you're watching live on Roses Live.
It is now Lancaster possession.
So we're in the final throws of the game as York win a penalty.
Holding on.
Which is taken
quickly. And they
quickly.
will go quick. And into touch. And that is game. That is game. Congratulations to York. They played an excellent match. They held that lead the whole time despite a Lancaster try. But pitch invaders, lots of excitement. Pitch invaders from both sides actually, because there is lots to be celebrated.
Of course, there is lots to be celebrated. A great weekend of Roses sport here at Lancaster University. So pitch invasion by both sides as we look to speak to a player. Sure.
Absolutely.
Hola mamá, soy Elena, te quiero mucho. Felicidades, la madre.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to number 9 from York's mum. I don't know if you could see her run up, but...
That was number 9, that was Eleanor Pomerell, so it's clearly Mother's Day in Spain. So if you're listening to Eleanor's mum, happy Mother's Day. What a way to celebrate. So we're just going to wait for the players to finish celebrating there.
What were your highlights? What would you kind of like to pick out as positives from this match?
Well, that was Holly Sullivan's offload.
Yes, absolutely.
Didn't lead to a try for York, but that was one of the moments of the game.
Okay.
So we're live now on the Roses live stream, just as the York players and the York supporters are all in absolute jubilation at a massive result for the Uni of York's women's first rugby team, winning 17 points to 5 against Lancaster University on the final day of Roses. I'm joined by my wonderful co-commentator here. It's been a great game of rugby, an unfortunate loss for Lancaster, but both teams played really well throughout.
Yeah, they really did. Like I've been saying, there's a lot of positives to take if you're both sides. I mean, looking over to Lancaster now, there doesn't seem to be any sadness in those hugs and celebrations. You know, both teams really put a shift in, and they worked hard. York worked incredibly hard for that win. You know, throughout some pretty nasty looking injuries, they kept those replacements coming. those impact players, they were impact players. They really made a difference on the pitch. But same with Lancaster as well. So I think both lots to be celebrated, and at the end of the day, it's a fantastic display of women's sport and some really high quality rugby actually. So really well done.
Yes, exactly. Really good, high quality rugby on show. Proper university rugby. Amazing crowd here to support the girls as we also get ready for the men's fixture to take place after the girls leave the pitch. But yeah, an amazing result. As you say, there were some unfortunate nasty looking injuries. An ambulance was called at one point. We're still unable to confirm as to which York player actually did get that nasty injury. But yeah, and as I say, nasty injury, but York kept composed. They kept it in the forwards. Really good control by the halfbacks, and that was the difference between the two teams today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know, it's hard to win away from home as well. The support was not on York's side, so to be able to keep that composure despite some disciplinary issues throughout, it's an achievement in itself. So I do hope they're proud of themselves. I think does seem like we've got the Lancaster co-captains on their way to have a little chat with them about how they felt. Both players, Bronwyn and Olivia, played fantastic matches, so I hope they come smiling and with lots of positive to say about the match.
I mean, just quickly before the Lancaster players come, we should really talk about the fact that Lancaster didn't really, expose that one-woman advantage when they had it.
Yeah.
That was also a big part of York winning the games today.
Yeah, very, very true. They were able to stretch the defence minus that one player, and unfortunately Lancaster couldn't exploit that advantage.
So we're delighted to be joined by the Lancaster co-captains Branwyn Vaughan and what was your name again, sorry? Olivia. Firstly, commiserations. It was a really tough game out there today, but what are your thoughts overall on the match?
I think we played a lot better than because we played them against in our league. And the difference from our last game to this game is immense, and I couldn't be prouder of our girls.
Anything else to say there?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked really hard the last 5 weeks in boot camp, and the improvement the girls have made is just insane, and yeah, really proud of everyone.
Do you have any highlights? I know it's hard to kind of rethink a match right after you finished, but was there anything that was just, stand out for you throughout that match?
I think the forwards, it was a forwards game. The amount of meatballs we did there, just the amount of carries they did, it was absolutely insane, and I think that was a highlight for me.
Yeah, I'd say the same. Their work rate was just so great to watch, and yeah. I was tired looking at them.
As co-captains, how proud are you of this side? I know you haven't had the most successful season perhaps, but like you said, there's been a lot of growth, so to see it displayed on the pitch, what's that feeling like for you as leaders of this side?
Yeah, it's just amazing. Like from the very start of the year, we've just gone from strength to strength, improved every match, and it's amazing. I'm excited for next year.
Yeah, I think it's just like we've gone up that level, and the next season it's going to be insane. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's a fantastic match to watch, to experience, and I hope you're both very, very proud of yourselves. You worked really hard, and it's very clear.
And just a word on the crowd, like a massive amount of support here. On the final day of Roses, it's been an incredible weekend of sport, and you guys get the honours of being the penultimate team on the Roses weekend. Any words on that and the support today?
The support's been great from our other teams in the club and our friends and family. It's been amazing, like joining out all those York supporters.
Yeah, you could hear them on the other side of the pitch. It was absolutely insane. It was great.
Yeah, really good banter from both supporters here today. Some of which wasn't very appropriate for the airwaves, but we apologise where we could. I think just on some things in the game, there was that yellow card on the cusp of half time. You couldn't quite get an advantage. How crucial do you think that moment was for the result?
I think they were getting scared because we were on their touchline. You could see they were giving penalty after penalty away, which did end up in a yellow card. And I think that showed that they were scared of us. They could see the potential in our team as well as we.
Yeah, it shows that we were definitely the dominant team at times on that pitch. Shame we couldn't quite execute a try on that, but
next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
Like you said, lots and lots to build on.
Exactly.
But for now, I hope you are still going to celebrate nonetheless.
Definitely, yeah.
Team, what a squad. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah.
I was going to shake your hand. That's okay.
Sorry. Do you want to still?
Yeah,
Sorry.
please.
Go on.
Well done.
Sorry. Sorry about that. And now we are joined by York's captain Holly O'Sullivan, and 10 Sophie Bates, the vice captain. It's been a long weekend. I do apologise, girls, but welcome onto stream.
Mic for you.
Thank you.
Firstly, what are your thoughts post-match? A huge result on the penultimate match of the Roses weekend.
Firstly, congratulations, I think, are in order.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So, how are you feeling?
Glad it's over.
Relieved, yeah. It was a good performance. Good game, very tense. Very hard to get that win, I think.
It's this, like, Roses is such an occasion game, so no matter how much effort you put in training and whatnot, you can't really, under conditions with crowds and stuff, you really have to live up to the occasion. But yeah.
And those moments kind of when you had pauses in the match, when you kind of got to get back together as a group, how did you keep that mentality up? Because like you said, it is so hard to drown out those supporters and keep your heads held high at an away match, but clearly you're successful. So what were you saying to motivate your team?
I mean, I was just catching a breath, really. I guess just rallying them, really. Like, your heads are going to go down. There are going to be mistakes. So it's just giving them a pat on the shoulder and giving them that moral support to bounce back.
Yeah, I think keeping our heads up. We were playing well, but even though it felt tense, it didn't feel like things were coming off. So I guess just being patient and pushing through in that way.
And what do you think was the difference between the two sides today? I mean, as you said, it was close. It was cagey. There was the yellow card. Sorry to mention that, but and it was unfortunate. It was a team yellow card, but So what do you think was the difference between York and Lancaster today?
Ooh, I'd say the defining factor maybe just teamwork, and I say momentum. I said it a lot during the game. We had we scored tries off momentum. So there was a few patches where we were fighting on the D, and we really just wanted to gain that momentum back, and that's when we scored. I think that's what edge we had against them, really. It was just, momentum. I like that word.
I believe you both are final years, yes? How are you feeling as your last match?
Quite sad, actually. We've been playing together since first year, and this is now the end. It's quite sad.
Yeah. It's good to get a win on the end. Yeah, go out with a bang.
Absolutely.
But I mean, what a way to bow out, and unfortunately I think that's all we've got time for, but congratulations on a massive 4-point win for the University of York at the end of the Roses weekend. Enjoy your celebrations tonight. Best of luck with everything in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Bye-bye, thank you.
That is basically all we have got time for today. Thank you for joining us online on www.roseslive.co.uk, on Bellrig FM and on URY. I'm Jacob Basford. It's been a pleasure to be commentating today, and thank you so much for all your help today as well.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Millie Scott. Thank you for both teams for putting on such an amazing performance.